Hello and welcome to this edition of Please Note. I'm with the Reverend Christopher Yaw, who is the rector of St. David's Church just on the outskirts of Detroit. Chris, welcome.
Thank you, Bishop.
Chris has done something we've been praying for in the church for a long time. He has made it possible for people to do theological, biblical, and Christian life studies online at a reasonable cost. Chris, tell us what you've done and what you've got going.
Well, boy, I don't know if I can live up to that introduction, Bishop, because we certainly stand on the shoulders of giants. And as we both know, there's a lot of online learning going on out there. And so we've created something called ChurchNext, and you can find it at churchnext.tv. And what we're doing is building online schools for churches. As a rector, when I look out at my congregation on Sundays, I see people coming less frequently. I see people who are younger and who would love to stick around. At least they tell me, for a Wednesday night event or an after church class of some sort. But they're strapped. They get 1 or 2 days off a week to be with family, to do the yard and that kind of thing. So what if we were able to take this great learning that we were able to give in person and put it online? What if we were able to offer courses on scripture, on liturgy, on coffee hour questions? Can the internet, can online schools that are parish-based be ways for us to recapture our relevance in society? Everybody who came to my church last year and joined went to my website first. That tells me they're more comfortable with me digitally, at least initially, than they are face-to-face.
So people can sign up individually or as a congregation, and groups can study with it, and they can take the courses online. What are some of the examples of courses?
Yeah, certainly we've launched with 30 courses, and introduction to the Bible, introduction to the Gospels, introduction to each one of the Gospels individually, and we add one new course every week. So that would be Scripture, Liturgy, Holy Communion 101, Introduction to Episcopal Worship, introducing the Episcopal Church with the Episcopal tradition with Frank Wade is a great class.
I also noticed that you had sort of how Christian faith in life kind of courses.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now, I think that's where a lot of the curiosity is going to come from our parishioners: how to forgive, what happens when God and I don't see eye to eye, when I get angry with God, developing Christian patience. And even some that are really, I think, going to be helpful to us as rectors. Like we're coming out with before Christmas a course called How to Be a Godparent, because it's hard for me just to get the parents of the kid in, but for a pre-baptismal meeting, much less the godparents who often come from a long way away. But if I can get their emails and send them an email and graciously say, "So glad you're coming in for Bobby's baptism at Pentecost. I know you're coming a long way. May I have your permission to enter your name in our online school," and you can take a 45-minute course called How to Be a Godparent. Because that catechetical moment, I lose. They get there 20 minutes before the service. I barely have time to show them where the bathroom is, much less, the intricacies of what being a good godparent is about.
But any church, anywhere, all they've got to do is to be able to get online.
Yeah, that's and I think, Bishop, as we've rolled this out, remember when online banking came out? And you got that email from your bank saying, "We want all of your most intimate details up on the web." And you were like, wait a minute. And if you're like me, it took me a few emails to say, yeah, I'm going to try this. And then once I tried it, boom, I'm never going back. And I think online learning is going to follow that. So I'm sure this is not going to be a huge wave that's going to transform things overnight. But I think we both know, my kid's going into first grade, and he's going to be taking an online class. It's coming.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, I tell you, one of the fascinating, I just think this is an incredible offering for the whole church. It is just absolutely incredible. But one of the fascinating things about this is you, because this is part of your life journey. Because before you became a priest, what did you do?
Yeah, well, I was a television reporter and producer and writer. And I think I found during that time that finding the strong voices in our church, so I don't teach any of the classes at all. There's a staff of writers and people who have many more letters after their name than I am, putting together pedagogy and curriculum and that kind of thing, but just kind of coordinating it. And I think that, we all have to just realize where our gifts are, if we're producers or writers or whatever. But yeah, God just takes our gifts, doesn't he, all the time, and just uses those in the way that God desires.
Well, God has certainly taken hold of your gifts of communication and vision and passion and organization and energy and is now using them for the cause of the kingdom in this world. And Chris, we thank you,
Well,
sir.
thank you very much, Bishop. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
God bless you and keep the faith.